Okay, this is going to be the advanced guide to grow taller using posture. All right, so I was getting a lot of DMs on my Instagram, even a little bit on my TikTok of just people wanting to fix their posture. So I decided to create this presentation of a full guide on how to create your posture. How to fix your posture. So let's get straight into it. By the way, this picture right here, I know I'm 6'2", but in this picture, I'm giving a realistic transformation that you can do. So you can go from like 5'7" to 5'11" from just completely fixing your posture alone. So this is a realistic transformation. All right, this isn't me here. Now, I just launched the Slenderman community and it's completely free. So if you're interested in, joining a community with like-minded individuals who, all want to grow taller using the Slenderman methods, you can go check out my community. I just launched this an hour ago. We're already at like 20 plus members. So it's growing pretty fast. So you can go check that out. I also have the Slenderman method still. So this is going to be my course. And I have a lot of new courses and guides in here now too. So you guys can go check that out too. It's going to be in the link in the description. And I just added a whole bunch of new guides. So if you're interested in that, go check that out too. All right, this is gonna be for the people who are really truly serious in growing taller. Like you just want to skip ahead all the BS and you just want to go and learn everything right away. This is for the people for that. But let's get straight into how to fix your posture. So the first thing you want to do is you want to start hydrating your intervertebral disc. All right, so basically these are gonna be the spinal disc in your spine that correlate to you being shorter or taller. And what you can do is you can really hydrate these discs. So there's some supplements you can take that can help hydrate them, and it can make you like a half inch, 1 inch taller throughout the day just from the supplement alone. So a good supplement is glucosamine, and that's really good for keeping your discs hydrated. But if you don't want to do supplements, I recommend you drink 3 to 4 liters of water throughout the day. Have some electrolytes too, and this is going to give you a similar effect naturally. Okay, you can also take the glucosamine and do both. That's going to be your best bet for real to fully hydrate your intervertebral disc. And this is going to help keep your spine elongated. So basically, if you don't know already, dehydration will shrink your spinal disc. So if you're dehydrated, you're going to be shorter. Okay, if you're hydrated, you're going to be taller. All right, and the disc in your spine are 80% water. So 20% of it is, the disc itself. The rest is water, right? So you have to be getting in your water throughout the day. And like I said, if you take glucosamine, that's going to help promote water and hydration in the spine too. There's another supplement. I forgot what it's called. It starts with the M, but I just can't remember off the top of my head. So that's all I can really tell you about this. This is going to help you just stand taller. It's going to make you look taller, appear taller. And this is going to... And this compounds over time. So the more you do this, the more your torso is going to slowly grow longer too. If you're doing this, and this is like the foundation, right? So you need to start by doing this, and then do everything else on top of it, and you're gonna, you're gonna start growing your spine a little bit too. So if you do this consistently, you hydrate it, you do the stretches we're gonna talk about later in the video, and everything else I'll talk about later in the video. If you do this consistently, your torso is gonna grow significantly longer as time goes on. So just stay consistent with this every day for like a year, and you will see, posture growth for sure. Next, we're going to be talking about fixing your CO2 tolerance, okay? So, basically what this does, I don't think anyone talks about this. But basically what this does is this will improve your airways. It's going to allow better breathing and better posture. So, a big issue a lot of people face is just not being able to breathe right when they're standing at perfect posture. And also, plenty of other things too. Basically, what your CO2 tolerance is basically going to determine how big your airways are. So, for example, I used to swim a lot, so this already kind of happened naturally for me. But whenever you're swimming, whenever you're not breathing underwater, you don't go up for a breath, a whole bunch of CO2 goes into your airways, right? And you basically want to progressive overload on this. So when you first start, CO2 training or trying to build your CO2 tolerance up, it's going to be a lot harder than later on. So you want to start off by, you can either do swimming, right? Swimming is great. That's perfect for this. But if you don't have access to a pool or anything, you can just practice holding in your breath as long as possible and then take a breath whenever you need to. All right. So try holding your breath in for like a minute and then take a breath. And then you can do like a few sets of these a day. And then try to progressively overload and work your way up. And try to do like 2 minutes. and take a breath after that. And then try working your way up to like 3 minutes, right? So do that. This is going to help build your CO2 tolerance up, and it's going to help you breathe a lot better. All right, it's going to improve your posture. And it's also going to reduce stuff like anxiety and all that other type of stuff too. All right, because it puts your body in kind of that fight or flight mode. And whenever your body gets used to this fight or flight mode, it just becomes more comfortable, and it's also just really good for anxiety. Next is going to be sleeping on the floor. All right, so the importance of sleeping on the floor is that I think it's pretty self-explanatory. If you're sleeping straight on your back, sleeping on the floor, you're going to get better posture. So, I mean, personally, I didn't do this, but if you are really about that, you can do this. So, basically what you do is you just sleep on the floor. That's literally all you gotta do. Sleep on the floor, and it's gonna stretch out your spine. It's gonna be like the best way to properly sleep. I could probably grow like another inch if I started consistently sleeping on the floor from just posture alone if I wanted to. But me personally, I just don't want to do it because I just don't want to, do that. But if you do want to do that, this is obviously an option. All right. Another thing you could do is, if you don't want to sleep on the floor, is whenever you're sleeping on your bed, you sleep with a pillow in between your legs and you sleep on your side. Okay, that's like the second best way to sleep. Or you sleep on your bed with no pillow. That's also really good because the pillow, like, it puts your neck up, right? Like, whenever you're sleeping and you have your head on the pillow, like, you can be sleeping on your back, but your neck is like in a weird position because that's not natural. So you should either be like in a straight line, or you gotta do what I told you just a second ago. Sleep with a pillow in between your knees and sleep on your side. That's gonna help with adequate breathing. All right. But yeah, you can see like really good posture just 3 days doing this. So if you do this for like 3 days, you will already see a lot of posture gains from just that alone. Do this for like a month, and you're gonna be like a whole other person. All right. Next is going to be walking around with good posture. And I believe after this, after that, we're going to get into stretching. I'm just going to briefly go over this. So basically, you just want to force yourself to walk around with good posture. It's like forcing yourself to look confident, even if you're not confident, right? If you just act like you're confident, you're eventually going to become confident. It's the same thing with posture. If you just force your body to be in a good posture state, then you're good. So what you can do is, or eventually you're going to get into that good posture state naturally. So what you need to do is you need to go against a wall and just sit on the wall or stand on the wall, and have your shoulders back, have your head and neck up, have your glutes touching the wall, and just really make sure you have good posture, straight line, and just start trying to walk like that. And you can even sit, you can do a whole like stretch on the wall too, so you can sit there for like 5 minutes and kind of get your body used in that state, and then you can try to see how long you can hold that posture throughout the whole day. Now, finally, we got the stretching. So this is the part you guys all came here for. I know I left it at the end of the video, but I had to kind of go over the basics first, right? This is going to be really important too, but it's not going to be as important. So before we get into the stretching, you need to be doing, what's it called? You need to do foam rolling, and you need to get like a tennis ball and release like the fascia everywhere in your body before you do these stretches. So basically what you can do is you get a tennis ball and you just rub it all over your body, right? You just try to release as much tension as possible. And you can also roll your back out with the foam roller and stuff like that too. So that's really good for just waking up the body, releasing a lot of tension. And then for the posture itself, this isn't like the best stretching routine in the world, but if you do this every single day, you're going to have better posture, right? This is basically all the stretches you need for posture. I do more stretches than this in the morning and night too, but I do that because I'm an athlete. All right, I do that because I'm an athlete. If you're just trying to fix posture, this is all you need. All right, so the first stretch you're going to do is hip flexor stretch. So you can find a picture on Google. I don't have any pictures on this presentation because I kind of forgot to do that. But you can go on Google. You can look up hip flexor stretch. You can watch a video on how to do hip flexor stretch and like how to do it perfectly so you can make sure you're hitting that. And you can do this for like a minute on both sides, and this is going to really help release your hips and release tension in your hips, and it's going to make you stand up taller, all right? Because if you look ahead to what I'm about to say, train core and glutes. If you have released hips, this can help your glutes and core, activate better, okay? So that's hip flexor stretch. This is really important for fixing your anterior pelvic tilt. Another exercise you can do that I didn't put on another exercise you can do that I didn't put on here is where you stand on one leg and you just have your feet, or you have your leg like stretched out. So you stand here, right? And then you just have your leg up here. And basically what this does is it stretches out your glutes and helps with your anterior pelvic tilt too. And you're going to realize that you're taller whenever you are doing this stretch. Whenever you're standing on one leg, you're taller. And the reason is because your anterior pelvic tilt is fixed whenever you're standing on one leg. So if you can just naturally, fix your anterior pelvic tilt, you'll be as tall as yourself whenever you're standing on one leg. And that's going to be a really good accomplishment. So like right now, pause the video and just stand on one leg and watch. You're going to be taller than if you weren't to do that. All right. Now we're going to talk about Cobra Stretch. So this is a really good stretch. You can also watch a video on this. This is really common. Like I'm sure a lot of you guys know Cobra Stretch already, but you want to hold this for like 10 minutes every single morning, every single night, and you're just going to feel your torso getting stretched, right? You don't want to do this like 30 seconds. You don't want to, half-ass it, rush it. You want to do this for a good long time. You want to truly feel the stretch in your spine. So do this for 10 minutes every single morning and night, and you're going to start seeing torso length growing as time goes on. You're going to feel it too. Like I promise you, you're going to feel it. Next is going to be cat stretch. So this is what I like to do right after my Cobra stretch. And this is just really relaxing on the spine. Like I said, you got to look up a video on how to do it or see a picture. I can't really explain it the best. Then dead hangs. Okay, this is also really good too. This is a stretch a lot of people talk about also just to fix your posture. So dead hangs is what's going to help also grow your torso length because you're stretching everything out. Now, a lot of people say this is a part-time growth or this is part-time, and yes, they're right about that, but this can stay longer if you do more, okay? So the more you do it, so let's say you do like 5 sets every single morning for like a year, you're naturally just going to grow your spine just because you're stretching your spine out. And you include that with the hydration protocol I talked about earlier in the video, you're going to see torso gains. You're going to have better posture, and you're going to be able to appear taller. All right, so do dead hangs. I recommend you generally do like 5 sets every single morning if you have the time to do so, and do a few sets at night too, and this is going to really help get your posture in place. Next is going to be training your core and your glutes. So this is not really stretching. This is more of a rule you need to follow, but training your core and your glutes is going to be really good for fixing your anterior pelvic tilt again. It's going to allow you to move naturally. So train your core so your core can be activated in your glutes. So for core exercises, genuinely just do calisthenics and you're going to be hitting your core from just that alone. Or just play a sport. If you play a sport like basketball, soccer, any of these sports, football, if you just play these sports, you're running a lot, your core and your glutes are naturally going to be activated. All right, but some of you guys probably do have messed up fascia, so you might be hitting like your quads and your calves instead of your core and your glutes. So I might make another additional video on that in the future. I'm also going to talk about it in my course too, because I know a lot of people haven't restored their natural movements yet. Because you should be feeling sore in your glutes, core, and your feet area a little bit. But most people feel sore in their quads, their calves, because they haven't restored their natural movements. And that's really important too for just appearing taller, being healthier, and that's very important. So I might make an additional video on that soon, but we'll see. So basically just be an athlete and you can train your core and your glutes regularly, all right? And what else? Obviously there's some exercises, like you can find some exercises like ab wheels and stuff like that, squats. These are all kind of gimmicks of like what's the real thing. Like the real thing that's going to help you fix your posture through this is going to just be, playing the sport or doing calisthenics. So I want to add one more stretch that I didn't add here, and this is going to be it's going to be called chin tucks. So this is a stretch where you're standing against a wall and you just put your neck up like that, and it's going to feel really good, and it's going to help stretch it out. I also recommend you do neck rolls too. So like I said, you just look up all these videos on the internet, chin tucks, neck rolls, Cobra stretch, hip flexor stretch, cat stretch, dead hangs, and you can get a good idea of what to do. Finally, the last thing you can do, this is not really having to do with stretching, but this is kind of back to the hydration protocol. I don't know why it's right here, but this is a formula that has a lot of fat and stuff that helps lubricate your fascia, all right? No, I'm not going to give you guys the formula in this video. I'm going to save this for the people who, invest their money and who are really serious about growing taller for the course. So I'll put that in the posture plus hydration protocol. I'll save that for then. But basically what this does is it's a stronger version of what the hydrating your intervertebral disc does. So this will help, your fat should be regulated. It'll help keep it in place. And it's overall just gonna, allow you to move better, feel better, and be taller than you think you are right now. Alright, so if you found this video valuable, drop a like, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you can never miss an upload. Alright, I've been posting daily videos on Instagram. If you want to, talk to me closely, I have this community, this free community that anybody can join. You can literally join this right now. Alright, so you can go check that out. We're going to be building a big community in there. It's probably going to get to 100 members by the end of the day. So I've been growing a lot recently. And if you really want to, take it the next step further, you're trying to just skip ahead and you want to learn everything possible about high growth, how I made my transformation, including more, like the best physique for high growth, you can check out program top link in the description. All right, so I hope you enjoyed the video and I'll see y'all in the next one.